Welcome to Nerdstrodamus, everybody. I'm Dr. Pants.
I'm Lambo.
And sad news, the NES Classic has been discontinued.
Before I could even get one, I have a Raspberry Pi, it's okay.
And plus any NES game I wanted to play I have on cartridge. But this has all spurned some rumors. Eurogamer released rumors that there is possibly going to be an SNES Classic.
Who knew?
Who knew? I mean, we kind of saw it coming.
Yeah, this opens the door, though. They're going to have a
N64 Classic?
That might be really cool.
It might be, but the thing is I wasn't real thrilled with the NES Classic.
No, the game selection was, there were a lot of great games on there.
There were a lot of really great classics, but the other thing is you and I both grew up in the Super Nintendo era. I mean, that was the heyday of our childhood.
Indeed.
So we're really excited about the prospects of an SNES Classic. And so, just like the NES Classic did, we're assuming that this will have 30 games on it.
30 games?
30 games!
Oh, no!
I know, right?
Wow.
Wow.
Well, actually, that's a pretty intense thing, because right now, virtual console games cost about $8, for a Super Nintendo game, so to get 30 of them for...
Like what, 60 bucks?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be like $2 a game. So, a lot of people have been doing this, but we wanted to throw our hat into the ring here, and we've picked the 30 games that we want on SNES Classic. Now, keep in mind, this is what we want, not necessarily what the best games are.
But it is what the best games are.
So, Lambo and I have made the list, and we've also picked our top 5 each. There's 5 games that Lambo you want, and 5 games that I want definitively on.
Yeah, and they might not be the games that everybody else would want to see. They're not going to be the blockbuster games that everybody's going to go out and get, but
they're the games that mean the most to us.
Yes.
So we're going to go through the first 20 games we want to see, and these are all the classics that you would imagine to be on there, and then we'll go through our top 5.
Yeah. Let's do this. Record time. Here we go. You ready?
All right, so you start us off.
Clay Fighter!
Killer Instinct!
Earthbound!
Super Mario Kart!
Tetris Attack!
Donkey Kong Country 2 Diddy's Conquest!
Earthworm Jim!
Uniracers!
Final Fantasy 3!
Chrono Trigger!
Yoshi's Island!
NBA Jam Tournament Edition!
Kirby Superstar!
The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past!
Battletoads Double Dragon! Dun, 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 dun.
Ken Griffey Jr. presents Major League Baseball!
Kirby's Dream Course!
Super Star Wars!
Super Metroid!
F-Zero! So those are the first 20.
Yeah.
And they were in no particular order, by the way.
No, we just want them on there. Yeah.
We definitely want them. But now we've hit the last 10 that we've split up into top 5 lists. So, Lambo, what is your number 5 game that you definitely want on an SNES Classic?
Mine's a little old Trade West game back when they were making games called Plock.
Oh, Plock.
What is Plock? It's a game where you play as a tiny piece of, Velcro or thread or something like that, and you live on this land called Polyester. You kill fleas, and it's this amazing side-scrolling adventure. You throw your limbs, and you punch things, and the music's amazing.
It's overall, it's a classic game in the way it feels, the way it plays, and it's a lot of fun. I know it holds a special place in your heart.
Yes.
It is fun.
And you even played it back in the day as well.
I did.
Back in the olden days.
Back in elementary school
kind of days.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But my number 5, Sunset Riders.
Now, I had never played this game until you sat me down the other day and you were like, we have to play this game.
So Sunset Riders is actually a classic arcade game put on the Super Nintendo. It's very Contra-like, but it's set in the Old West. You pick one of 4 characters, cowboys, you get your guns, shotguns, pistols, whatever, there's power-ups, you shoot outlaws, at the end of every level is a boss fight. That's pretty epic. You gotta shoot down barrels to get past them, there's all kinds of other guys coming at you, there's trains, there's steer, there's horses, there's all kinds of fun action.
Yeah, you pretty much described it as Contra, but in the Old West.
That's exactly what I would imagine it to be, and it is so much fun, and it's voice acted.
And it's co-op!
It is co-op! But I think my favorite part is the first boss when you beat him is just, bury me with my money.
Oh, greed. 90s greed when it was funny. Anyway, speaking of co-op games, this might be one of the best for the Super Nintendo. It is Ninja Turtles 4, Turtles in Time. Oh, yeah. It was a port of the awesome arcade game. And it's just absolutely ridiculous. But they added more stuff in the Super Nintendo version, so there's extra levels, a couple extra bosses.
So this is the definitive version of this game?
Yeah, so honestly, if you played the reshelled version for Xbox 360, it's not the good version. They skipped a couple of good levels. Yeah.
It is classic side-scrolling beat 'em up, up to 4-player co-op. At least the arcade version
was, but in the Super Nintendo, you're going to be stuck at 2.
But it's still really good, and it's hours of fun, or
an hour of fun, every time.
Yeah. My number 4, Sky Blazer.
Woo.
So I don't know anyone who's ever heard of this game. I rented it when I was a kid, I forgot it existed, and I only had this one boss fight in my mind for many years, and I eventually tracked it down. Sky Blazer is a side-scrolling adventure game that kind of reminds me of a cross between Mega Man and ActRaiser, which we're going to talk about next.
Yeah.
But it's got some cool mythology stuff behind it, but side-scrolling action, you get new abilities, there's all kinds of varied levels, the bosses are really, really cool and epic with some awesome patterns and puzzles to solve. It's so much fun and no one's played it.
I've not played it.
It needs to be on there because it's just so ridiculously cool.
Sweet. You already brought it up, but here we go. ActRaiser. Oh yeah, this is a great game. So ActRaiser was mostly a side-scrolling, just classic, slash enemies, hack and slash. But it had this awesome sort of like God simulator thing on the outside of it. So you would play this little kind of cherub who was from like the heavens, and you would build this world, and you would kind of rule over it. And every once in a while, something would happen, and you'd go fight enemies and stuff like that.
And a lot of it was based on mythology. There were like some Hindu monsters and some like classic Christian monsters and like all this cool stuff based on all these other religions and mythologies.
Yeah, I specifically remember like the Egyptian level, and you fight this crazy like insect thing at the end, and it's absolutely crazy.
It was ridiculous.
But the game is fun, it's deep, and I'm super like angry that it has never been like remade, because it would just be an awesome 3D game nowadays, right?
Plus, let's face it, this was a classic staple of Nick Arcade.
Oh yeah!
No one knows what we're talking about.
Speaking of Nick Arcade!
My next game, Joe and Mac.
Yeah.
So my number 3 is Joe and Mac, which was this game that I played when when the Super Nintendo came out. I rented it, I loved it, my parents bought it for me. You play as one of 2 cavemen,
Joe
or Mac, and you fight other cavemen, dinosaurs, and you go through these individual levels, platforming, getting upgrades for your weapons, which was a club. But you could throw bones, boomerangs, fire, and at the end of every level was this giant boss, whether it was a T-Rex or a giant plant monster or a pterodactyl, and it was just cool, it had epic music, it was hilarious, and it was co-op.
Indeed. Was it better than Chuck Rock?
Yeah. Yeah, it was better than Chuck Rock, if anybody knows what Chuck Rock actually is.
Uh-huh.
It was also better than Bonk.
Oh, poor Bonk. My number 2.
What's your number 2?
Super Mario World.
Super Mario World at number 2, really?
As if you could ever guess. Well, it had to be close to the top either way.
Yes.
It's the Super Nintendo game. It looks beautiful. I don't think it's still been paralleled yet in the way it looks, the beautiful landscapes. It's been lovingly sort of recreated in Super Mario Maker. So now, honestly, I've played more good Super Mario World levels in the past couple of years than I ever have in my childhood. But I think the style is timeless. It's awesome. There's so much hidden stuff to find in it. Like, I think it's like one of the deepest Mario games. So much so that like when they made it was Super Mario Wii U, Super Mario Brothers U. They were kind of like, oh, we're bringing back some of that Super Mario World-esque exploration and kind of non-linearity.
But it doesn't
quite hit it still.
No.
Yeah, I mean, there's hidden stuff in there, and there were kind of like levels that all kind of merge into each other, but nothing quite hit the ridiculousness of like getting through Star Road. And stuff like that.
No. Super Mario World is one of the definitive Mario games, if not the definitive Mario game.
Probably. Yeah.
My number 2, another launch title for the SNES.
I love watching you play this game.
Super Mario World. Pilot Wings. I love Pilot Wings.
This guy loves Pilot Wings.
For those who don't know, because Pilot Wings is a Nintendo franchise that has had 3 games.
Technically.
The
one's kind of like, maybe, yeah.
Yeah. But Pilot Wings on the original SNES was this flight simulator where you went to different, flight camps and you completed challenges in planes, parachuting, rocket belt, hang glider, and it was all to learn how to fly so that you could fly a helicopter then into battlegrounds to rescue trapped soldiers. But the trials were the best part, because it was ridiculous. Parachuting, you had to go through rings and then land on a target, and you would get scored based on how well you did.
And we found out really recently that there are bonus levels.
I didn't know there were bonus levels! Oh my god, I now have...
All it took was a little nudging. Like, hey, land on that really small part that's moving around.
And I did.
And it was awesome.
And you dive off a board into a pool as a penguin for the bonus game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then there's another one where you're like, seagull wings and you hop around.
Wow.
But I love this game. I can't talk about it enough.
No.
So that brings us to our number ones, which I'd like to bring up. These number ones are not exclusive to either of us.
No, they're probably both of our number ones or our number one and number two interchangeably. It's hard to say.
Nonetheless, these are the top two games that we would want to see on an SNES Classic, and it would make us buy it. Mm-hmm. So what is your number one?
There's only one game I could pick, and if you know me well at all, it's Mega Man X.
It was really hard not to put this as my number one, but
I know. Yeah.
But he had to take it.
I'll follow you for it. No, Mega Man X is basically everything that you'd ever want in a Super Nintendo game. It's fast, it's action-packed, it's got a decent story. It actually had a story!
It does! We've talked about it before! It has one of the coolest moments in video game history!
The bosses were really, really awesome and memorable. Really good abilities. The final fight is probably one of the hardest in Mega Man history.
Oh.
Well, that's really debatable. But
there's three forms.
Yeah. But it's awesome. And there's so many collectibles in it. And really, it's the game that really taught me how to play video games. Because the first time through, you just kind of take your time, you learn things, and now the game is old hat.
And now we race it.
Yeah.
We each boot it up side by side and see who can get through it faster.
Yeah.
The best part about this game is there was one unlockable or one hidden thing we didn't know existed until like 5-10 years ago.
Yeah.
And the game's over 20 years old now. Mm-hmm. But it's an amazing game. I love it.
What's your number one?
Let's face it. It hasn't been said yet, but it had to happen. Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars. This was pretty much my first Japanese-style RPG, and it is probably my favorite one to date. Mm-hmm. It's a classic game. It's funny. It's epic. It's difficult at times, but while still being perfectly accessible. It brings you all the Mario characters and some new ones
that have never been used again, mostly.
Poor Gino.
Yeah, poor Mello.
Poor Mello.
Yeah.
He found his parents, and that was it.
It was the only time Bowser was ever a really lovable character. Like a lovable character.
The game is laugh-out-loud funny at times, and at other times, it's just so epic and so ridiculous. The music's amazing, the graphics are amazing.
It's a world you want to return to over and over again.
And the story behind it is, it has a message to it that I think is timeless. Mm-hmm. And anybody who likes RPGs, turn-based combat, or any of that, if you haven't played this game, you need to find a way to do it.
Yeah, it takes the best of Final Fantasy. It takes the best of what we love about Mario,
and
bring it
together.
Yeah, so good.
It's so good.
That would be the perfect Super NES classic.
It would be. I'm pretty sure we're not going to get exactly that.
No,
because I really don't think Sky Blazer's going to show up on that.
I don't think they're going to throw Clay Fighter on there either.
Probably not, but nonetheless, if they made an SNES Classic with all 30 of those games, we would be at the front of the line because we love the Super Nintendo.
So, hint, Nintendo.
Yeah.
Hint.
Hopefully they're watching. But for Nerdstrodamus, I'm Dr. Pants.
I'm Lambo.
Like, comment, subscribe, and hey, let us know, what's your favorite Super Nintendo game? What would you love to see on an SNES Classic? We'd love to hear it. But we'll catch you again some other time.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, click subscribe. Also check below for the links to our Facebook page, Twitter, and blog. Check back often, we'll be posting new videos weekly.